Yo everyone, and welcome back to me, Shiva Wilson, and my channel, which is all about legalizing adult use cannabis in the UK, hashtag LCUK. So today I've got some stand-up comedy for you about weed. Yes, it's been written by ChatGPT, but let's see if it's any good. It's a long kind of video, guys, kind of a cannabis comedy omnibus. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, so let's talk about our favourite frenemies, cannabis, cigarettes and alcohol. They're like that toxic trio that we can't seem to quit, right? They're bad, but oh do they feel so good. First up, cannabis. The Mary Jane, the good old green stuff. It's like a chill pill wrapped in a joint, right? Makes you feel like you're floating on a cloud, munchies in hand, watching Netflix for hours. But let's be real, you take a little too much and suddenly you're convinced your fridge is your best friend, talking to your plants, or worst of all, attempting yoga when you can't even touch your toes. Next, we have cigarettes, the cancer sticks, the stress relievers that stress your lungs. Isn't it funny how they can turn even the most zen person into a frantic, nicotine-obsessed addict? Oh, the lengths we go to for that sweet, sweet puff of poison. We see that warning label saying smoking kills, and we're like, ah well, at least I'll die happy, as we light up another one. And last but not least, alcohol. The liquid courage, the social lubricant that can quickly turn us into obnoxious dancing fools or sobbing messes. Have you ever noticed how a few shots can make karaoke seem like a good idea? Or how that one last drink always turns into 5? And don't get me started on hangovers, it's like paying for all the fun you had the night before. But here's the thing folks, despite all their pitfalls, these substances have this sneaky way of making us feel invincible, carefree, and just a little bit rebellious. They tap into our desire to escape, to let loose, to feel something different. And even though we know they're not great for us, we keep coming back for more. So here's to cannabis, cigarettes, and alcohol. Our problematic pals who always leave us wanting more. Remember folks, enjoy in moderation, stay safe, and maybe consider a hobby that doesn't involve inhaling, puffing, or downing questionable substances. Cheers! So there you go. Was it funny? ChatGPT's sense of humour can be a bit basic at times, but yeah, I guess it'll do. And now for a bit more comedy, this time focusing on the terms around cannabis, the names and terminology, slang and that, you know. Hey there folks, let's dive into the weird and wild world of cannabis and all its wacky names and terms. Seriously, some of these sound like they were made up by a group of high schoolers at a Dorito-fueled brainstorming session. First off, we've got the classic nicknames for cannabis itself. Weed, pot, ganja, herb, grass. It's like a garden variety of ways to say, I'm about to get high. Who decided to call it weed anyway? It's not like you're smoking dandelions in your back garden, right? And then there's the strains. Oh boy, the strains. We've got names like Blue Dream, Sour Diesel, Girl Scout Cookies. I swear it sounds like a menu at a psychedelic bakery. Can I get a slice of that purple haze pie to go, please? And let's not forget the OG Kush. Makes you wonder what happened to OG AJ and OG LMNOP. Right, now let's talk paraphernalia. Bongs, bowls, pipes. They all sound like rejected names for overpriced modern art installations. This is my latest piece. It's called Glass Sculpture for Inhaling Happiness. Don't get me started on dab rigs. What's next? A rig for dabbing your dance moves? Ridiculous humour from ChatGPT. But the real kicker is the terminology. Take terms like 420 friendly or wake and bake. It's like a secret code language for stoners. Are you 420 friendly? Translation, do you want to get lit together? And wake and bake is just a fancy way of saying, hello, breakfast joint. And who came up with the term blunt anyway? It's like they couldn't decide between bold and blunt truth, so they settled for the more straightforward option. What should we call this fat cigar-like joint? Let's just call it blunt, man. But hey, at the end of the day, whether you're rolling a J, hitting the bong, or dabbing like a pro, just remember to enjoy responsibly, stay safe, and maybe consider investing in a dictionary of cannabis terms. Who knows? You might learn a new strain name or two. And now the part you've been waiting for, some comedy about the real reasons we all want cannabis legalization. Here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get real about why people are clamoring for cannabis legalization. It's not just about the so-called medical benefits or the economic opportunities. No, there are some truly practical, everyday reasons why we want the green stuff to be legal. First off, let's talk about the munchies. You know, that insatiable hunger that hits you like a freight train right after a good smoke session. Legalizing cannabis means we can finally satisfy those late night cravings at the drive-thru without feeling like we're participating in some underground food cartel. Then there's the issue of paranoia. Nothing ruins a good high like constantly peeking out the window to see if the cops are onto you. Legalization means you can relax, kick back, and enjoy your buzz without worrying about a surprise visit from the boys in blue. And let's not forget the social aspect. How many awkward conversations have been avoided with a simple, "Wanna smoke?" Legalization opens up a whole new world of networking opportunities. Oh, you like that strain too? Let's be friends. It's like LinkedIn for stoners. Of course, there's also the practical benefits. Legal cannabis means regulated cannabis. No more shady deals in dimly lit parking lots or sketchy back alleys. Just stroll down to the nearest dispensary and browse their selection like you're in a fancy boutique. And last but not least, let's talk about productivity. That's right, I said it. Some people swear by a little puff to enhance their focus and creativity. Legalization means we can finally put the lazy stoner stereotype to rest and show the world that you can blaze and still crush it at work. So there you have it, folks. The real reasons we want cannabis legalization. It's not just about getting high, it's about convenience, peace of mind, social connections, and maybe, just maybe, a little boost in productivity. Now, who's ready to light up and change the world? And finally, some comedy about whether weed is of the gods or sent from the devil. So let's dive into the age-old debate. Is weed of the devil or of the gods? It's like a cosmic showdown between Cheech and Chong and the high priests of Mount Olympus. On one side, we've got the devil's advocates, the anti-weed crusaders who think Mary Jane is Satan's personal handshake. According to them, smoking a joint is like signing a contract with the underworld, guaranteeing you a front row seat to eternal damnation. I can just imagine Lucifer himself passing a joint with that sly grin and pitchfork in hand. But on the flip side, we have the believers that weed is a real gift from the divine. The cannabis enthusiasts who see the plant as a sacred herb, a natural healer, a pathway to enlightenment. In their eyes, getting high is like receiving a blessing from the gods themselves. Maybe they picture Zeus blowing smoke rings on Mount Olympus, or Shiva passing the kush at a cosmic gathering. It's like we're caught in this cosmic tug of war between heaven and hell, with weed as the unlikely rope. One side sees it as a gateway to sin and destruction, while the other sees it as a key to spiritual awakening and peace. But hey, maybe the truth lies somewhere in between. Maybe weed is neither good nor evil, but just a plant with the power to amplify both our deepest fears and our greatest joys. Maybe it's all about how we choose to use it, how we approach it, how we respect its power. So, whether you see weed as a tempting devil's lettuce or a heavenly gift, just remember to enjoy responsibly, respect the plant, and maybe consider starting your own weed religion. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll have cannabis churches instead of bars. Amen. And pass the joint. So there you go. I'm sure there must have been something in there to tickle your fancy. I do find some of ChatGPT's humour to be quite good. A bit cheesy, but still good enough for government work, as they say. Well, that's it from me for the day. Thanks very much for watching. I've been Shiva Wilson, and we've been campaigning to legalise adult use cannabis in the UK. #LCUK. And I'll see you on the next one. Good night.